Greetings in the love and light of the one infinite creator. I am Andrii Zvorygin and joined here today with Fred, Adam, Dan, and Edward. And we will be reading the December 14, 2024 session of LL Research Channeling, the Confederation of Planets in Service of the One Infinite Creator. And it is about embarking on a spiritual journey, ancient rituals and practices for transformation. And so we'll get right into it. All right, Fred, can you get us started? Are you muted, Fred? I believe you're muted, Fred.
Are you going to ask the question, or you just want me to go?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I could read the topics. The topics are clearing the lower energy centers, use of crystals to potentially enhance allopathic medicine, crystallization of medicine, the impact of dogma and conception of the creator as wrathful, the emergence of love from unity, the perplexities of time-space, lucidity in the dream state for navigating time-space, healing in time-space, discovering direction and purpose, ritual of anointing by oil. All right. Go ahead, Fred.
I am Quo, and I am with this instrument at this time. We are here in answer to your call, a call that rings throughout the universe when portions of the Creator seek a greater understanding of that Creator, and we are honored to answer your call to be with us, to be with you as you seek to be more and more the one Creator, to see the one Creator and all those about you. We will be happy to speak to your queries if you will let us ask that you take what we say in any way that is helpful to you. Use it as you will. But if any word or thought does not ring true to you, please leave it behind. In this way, we can speak more freely, knowing that we are not infringing upon your freedom. At this time, we would ask if there is a query with which we may begin.
Yes, I have a query. This is something that has been covered before, and G and I kind of shared this one, but I just needed some more clarification, and that is, how do you go about clearing your lower energy centers especially? I believe I know how to do it, but I would just like to have further comment from Kuo on this, if you would.
I am Quo, and am aware of your query, my brother. You are speaking of a process by which each spiritual seeker of truth may unblock and balance those lower energy centers so that the love light, the one Creator, may move into the heart, and you may become able to love each as the Creator. For this is the great journey of your third density experience. In order to clear and balance these energy centers, it is well to look to each one as a means by which you can balance the energies that you perceive as being within the red ray chakra. That energy that is a portion of one's sexual experience, one's need to survive within your third density world, or indeed within any portion of the one infinite creation. This may be balanced by looking at every experience you've had during the day, at the end of the day, when you are meditating. These experiences that you have had can be placed at the red, at the orange of the knowledge of each other self on a one-to-one basis. Acceptance of yourself, and in the yellow ray of the group energies where you participate in groups such as this one. And the balancing is that looking at what is called the catalyst, the food for growth that helps you to change, to unblock the centers, and looking at any particular experience that you have had and placing it at the proper energy center, the red, the orange, or the yellow. And then see that experience once again and allow it to get larger so that it is overemphasized in a manner which gives more potency to the experience. And just for a moment, then allow the opposite of that to form itself in a manner which grows on its own, so that you're able to have a balance of these two views of your experience, and then to see them as a portion of the Creator that is knowing itself through you, through your experience. That is a way that you can become a greater portion of the Creator, the more you do this balancing exercise on a daily basis, if possible, so that you become more and more that which you seek. That is the one infinite creator, a 360-degree being that is all that there is. Each of you is also a portion of that one creator that is all that there is. You are a small creator at this time, but the more you do these balancing exercises, the greater the nature of your creatorship will grow and grow. This could be the process of a lifetime, or even many lifetimes, but it is a journey well worth taking. Each step brings you closer and closer to knowledge of the one creator in all things within yourself in your spiritual path. There, further query, my brother.
No, thank you very much. All right. Did you guys want to discuss that?
Is there a way they can expand a little bit more on the flipping of that? You know how it said to contemplate on the experiences of the day, place it in the chakra point that it belongs, and experience that fully, and then how I can't remember how they worded it to the opposite of that.
So I think that if like you're angry, they want you to be patient. If you're like you know like you experience the opposite feeling. That Jim often talks about this, and I'm actually wondering if Jim is the one channeling here. Do we know who's channeling here? Jim channeling. Yeah, it is Jim channeling. See, and Jim always talks about this whole balancing by doing one thing and then the other. And so then having the opposite feeling, so like love and hate and things like this. And so he's always talking about that. When he's conscious or whatever. So I guess that was an easy thing for them to bring up.
But what about, say, when you're contemplating something really good and awesome that happened during your day, and that why would I want to feel the opposite of that?
I am not totally clear about that. But here, if you want, we can ask Robo-Ra. Robo-Ra.
Okay, I
Okay.
might have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Okay, so has anyone ever heard of Austin Osman Spare?
No.
No, he was a occultist back in the late Victorian times, and he basically is one of the people that kind of started chaos magic. Really, arguably, he did he came up with the whole idea of more like solo practicing magic rather than needing a big kind of lodge or whatever to be part of, and he and he did a lot of kind of stuff with he did hypersigils, big pictures, and channeled drawing and stuff like that. Anyway, he always has this thing called the alphabet of desire, where you have one thing positive and the opposite on a wheel, and then the one thing here has its opposite over here. So if you feel this negative emotion, then there is this positive emotion too. And so you've got the exact vice versa of every single like human emotion with the opposite. So that you can,
What was his name?
when writing sigils, for whatever use, you can actually use that specific placement on that circle to balance any specific energies with their opposites, in a similar way to what he's describing. I don't know whether it's more of it in an ideas and concepts kind of way, really, when what they're talking about, though, when really it's kind of showing how to kind of use the energies properly, I suppose, by getting both sides and keeping everything balanced, and that middle pillar. I don't know, it's my thoughts. I'll shut up.
What was his name?
AOS, or Austin Osman Spare. He did a few books. One of them is just a load of weird pictures. But but apparently hidden inside those weird pictures is like everything that went wrong with modern life. Like he called it.
Mm-hmm. So I want to say hi to Suen. Hey, Suen, how are you doing? Or Wensu? I don't know.
Suwen's good.
Suen. Yeah. Okay. All
I'm
right.
doing good, thank you.
Good. And well, I guess ChatGPT always makes those images, doesn't it? Okay. So, and I guess it's about balancing the chakras. So that makes sense. Now, so in terms of Fred had a question regarding the process of balancing through opposites. And the essence of balancing through opposites lies in embracing the full spectrum of experiencing. Says, at the end of the day, you would reflect on your experiences and consciously place them within your lower centers, red, orange, yellow. This helps identify what is blocked, what is balanced, and what needs more attention. Once you've identified the experience, it's important to overemphasize it in your mind, giving it more intensity or magnitude. This helps bring it into sharper focus, making it more present and visible. After emphasizing the experience, you then consciously create the opposite of that experience. Fear and insecurity, you might have a state of safety, abundance. And if there was a feeling of anger, separation, state of peace and understanding, this allows you to balance out the dualities within the energy centers. I think that the reason that you would do that, even if, say, it was like positive, is because in the exploration of the creator, the opposite is going to arise anyways. So if you do it in a controlled fashion, then you're more likely to not have, say, an outburst that you didn't want to in public or something like this. You know what I mean? If you process it during your meditation in the evening. Mm-hmm. And okay, cool. Anyhow, so Suen, did you want to do any reading today? Okay, here. So I guess not. Fred, you'll be willing to read this?
Sorry.
Oh no, okay.
I'm having trouble finding the unmute.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see.
Don't you have AI? Can't AI just read it?
Unfortunately, Jitsi doesn't have audio capture. So yes, so we're gonna have to have a human do it. Anyhow, this one isn't long. Yes, Kuo. I'm aware of how crystals can be used by a healer to heal physical illnesses of another person. Is it possible for crystals to be used to increase the potency of man-made medicines so that they work more powerfully?
I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. The use of the crystal is the putting into motion of the nature of the one who uses the crystal, which is to say, the use of the crystal must be charged by the one who is using the crystal for whatever purpose it is to be used. Thus, it is your ability to charge the crystal with your desire to increase the potency of the healing medicines, or of the thoughts, of the actions, the beingness of the one who needs the medicine. The type of medicine that is used in conjunction with the crystal is merely the means by which the healing energy is transferred to the one who would seek and need the healing. Thus, the medicines are simply a means of transmission of your ability to see and feel the energies of the one creator moving through you to the one needing the healing. Is there further query, my brother?
I can't help but ask, is it possible for medicines to be crystallized in the way a person can?
I am Quo, and I'm aware of your query, my brother. It is something that is very unlikely in our opinion, but we are not without failure in our ability to perceive the correct portion of a journey of any spiritual seeker. But it would seem that the medicine itself being crystallized would simply be crystallizing the paper upon which the message has been written. If the person needing the healing is open to such a need for healing, this could be used as a means of healing. It is something that much consideration would need to be taken by the one seeking to offer the healing. Is there a further query, my brother?
No, thank you, cool.
Wait a sec. Did Quo just say that a bit of paper is just as good as any piece of modern medicine?
Basically, that's what it seems like.
Seriously? He just said basically give him a bit of paper, tell him it'll work. It'll be fine.
Give them a paper that says you are healed.
Yeah, you are healed. Go home feeling good.
Yeah.
Wow, Quo, dude. Seriously, that's a bold statement, my friend.
I think that's probably some comedy.
That makes my entire university degree toilet paper.
If they were answering you that question, Ed, they would have probably used a different word because they would know you would give somebody a paper that was laced with like lysergic acid diethylamide or something.
Or something that might help them. You know, depending
You are
on the
healed.
condition.
Okay.
I'm not saying that doesn't help for most situations. Just say like.
Cool. So let's see what ChatGPT. Okay. Now make title summary and points for seekers with quotes regarding searching my knowledge, yada yada. Oh, because this one has the okay, crystals and spiritual healing. Crystals are an extension of the user's will, activated through intention. The one who uses the crystals. Medicines are simply a means of transmission of your ability to see and feel the energies of the one creator moving through you. So crystallizing of medicines is very unlikely. And the healers in energy, intention, and focus are really the vital elements. Yep. So it's basically, as Ed said, it's basically discounting it as, well, like a catalyst. It's just a catalyst. That's all it is. Now making. Well, what about like THC crystals? I mean, they have a pretty profound effect, I think, even if you don't have. But maybe there is intention behind it. I don't know.
Well, you did kind of imply that it's kind of like a way of focusing, and a way of us extending our own normal perception to feel more of the universal creator at work in any working. So, that is kind of how I feel like crystals work. You put your energy into them, you try and get the best one to focus or channel your intention through them, and then you kind of set them jobs, right? I want you to do this for me. You're going to help you channel Saturn. Do you know what I mean? And then so it's a combine of your intention, the actual chemical structure, and where the atoms go. And because I like to, a lot of the time I like to think about why a crystal does a certain job. Coming down to look at the crystal lattice of where the atoms are, you can generally see why a crystal has the properties that it has when you start looking at the crystallography. Like like a sodalite, for example. Sodalite, you use it, and it's supposed to be very good at kind of, you push stuff into it and it can kind of hold on to it for ages. So then you could put say information in, and then get it out afterwards, and 10 years later you could hold the crystal and feel that information again, that kind of thing. But when you look at the atomic structure of it, it's made of little tiny, like literally atomic sized balls, which would be perfect for just stuffing information into. So like I said, it's like you look at the metaphysical uses and then start looking at the actual science of crystals, and really the two things match up quite often. It's kind of mad. You've actually got like the whole idea of resonance as well. Like I would firmly argue that all crystals are alive. They are living vibratory complexes, right? We just don't understand what consciousness is. So when you put information in, that it goes through that lattice, that whatever the structure is, to give vibration out again. That is, in my opinion, what all consciousness is, right? Information in, information out. So to aid us in whatever work we're going to do, that's how I think the best ways of viewing it are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else wanted to comment on this, or we should move on to the next? Yeah. Okay. So,
okay, just one more thing.
Okay,
I always thought it was bonkers, yeah. You know, like runestones?
Runestones? Okay.
Yeah, like runestones, traditionally they used to carve the runestones onto the runes onto pieces of quartz stone, right? White cornstones, runestones. Yeah. You know that like all of the runes, if you stack them on top of one another, they make a 6-pointed star.
Oh, okay.
And do you know that?
Okay.
You know that the atomic structure of quartz is a 6-pointed star.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
What? Tell me the Vikings were able to like analyze stuff at the atomic level. What?
Well, I think.
Come on, seriously.
It has to do with, you know, the 6-sided shape. It has so many uses, and also you remember the Braille. It's got 6 dots.
Of course.
Yeah.
But
so I think it's the hologram. It's part of the hologram.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you know, fractals and all that, but you know, it's pretty on the nose, isn't it? There's supposed to be separated parts of the universe that you put them all together and it creates a universe. It comes out as a 6-pointed star, and then you know you're supposed to put it onto stones.
Mm-hmm.
That when you look at the atomic level, they're a 6-pointed star. It's just a bit. Come on, what? My opinion. It's just in my opinion. It's just nice. That's just one of those things. Like what?
One of those nice synchronicities.
Yeah, right. like the what's it called? The hieroglyphs. If you do kymatics on a piece of granite, then you actually get the hieroglyphs come up on the sand.
And the heart chakra in Hinduism is also a 6-pointed star.
It is. That is true. That is true. Although you could argue that is a macabre, but
well, that would be a Jewish way of interpreting it.
And Islamic.
Oh, the Muslims.
There's a slightly different way of writing it, but yeah, it's macabre rather than macabre.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's get to the next question. Yes, cool. Background to my question is this. A number of spiritual traditions believe that people create their own realities by their focus and what they believe in. In the case of traditional churches, people are directed to accept the theologies of their particular denominational church. My question is this. Do people who deeply accept, for example, the concept of God as a wrathful judge, do they harm their spiritual development by holding these beliefs?
I am Quo, and am aware of the query, my brother. We find this query interesting and complicated, and we will do our best to address the various metaphysical dynamics present within the query. We would begin by speaking to the notion of harm, as you have presented it within the query, and remind all seekers that there are no mistakes, though there are surprises, and ultimately there can be no harm in the eyes of the Creator. All beliefs, all experiences have their proper place in the journey of each seeker. And as you may have experienced yourself, such beliefs and experiences that bring about things that seem to be harmful or painful or increase suffering and distortion, in retrospect, were experiences attempting to offer a gift or a new perspective, and that these things were simply not viewed with the lightness of truth of what they were offering. And so from this perspective, we would say that, indeed, such beliefs as you have identified do not cause harm in that sense. However, we understand your query to be more focused upon the individual journey and the experiences of the individual and how they can better engage with their spiritual journey to reveal more and more the truth of the one infinite Creator instead of hiding it. We would say that in such systems of belief and religions as you have described, The dogmatic approach of instilling very rigid, specific, and we would say vengeful beliefs does not indeed act to hide more and more of the truth. Does indeed act to hide more and more of the true nature of the Creator and of the creation, such that these systems can impose certain distortions upon the individual within them. They can cause a blindness to to the love that is inherent in the Creator and in what these systems might call God, and instead replace that love with something more human, you may say, something less inclusive. This idea that you have presented in the query of beliefs, creating one's reality, becomes quite charged and important in this scenario. For in such a situation, you do not have a single seeker contemplating her own beliefs and her own ideas and using thought to create certain realities for herself, but rather large, vast groups of seekers entering into magical, ritualistic environments and engaging in a system of reiterating and reinforcing these beliefs that can hide the nature of the Creator to the seeker while pretending, you may say, to reveal more of the Creator to the seeker.
Mm-hmm.
And as these groups meet together and engage in a worship that is absent of love and acceptance, they do indeed build certain structures, you may say, in time-space that have a lasting effect, not just for that group of seekers, but for your entire planetary population. These crystallized beliefs that are reinforced through your religious dogma become what you might call institutions within the realm of your time-space, which impose an effect upon all seekers and individuals on your planet. It is our hope and our goal with sharing information, as we do, that we can reveal to seekers, whether engaging in such systems of belief or otherwise, that there are hints and various ways to approach the religion and the dogma that do indeed reveal the truth of the Creator and the love and light that emanates from the Creator. And that in order to meet God in the heart, is that a
I think
typo?
it's a typo. I think it's a typo in the heart. Yeah.
One need not adhere so strictly to edicts passed on from above with authority and vengeance. That these institutions are built upon the illusion that you experience, the illusion of separation, the removal of one's true identity as the Creator that projects it onto something else, that the love that one feels in one's heart is not seen as the love of the Creator and is more easily dismissed. We believe that in such a situation, there is little for you as a seeker to do besides radiate the love of the Creator as you understand it and as you have embodied it in your own life. And in doing so, we have witnessed many, many times upon your planet that even if it is not apparent to you as a seeker, in that moment, that you are acting as a catalyst, helping to melt the rigid boundaries and the illusion of separation built by this religious dogma so that it becomes more and more malleable. Eventually, the seeker can find their way out of this stricture and see more clearly into their own heart in order to discover that the God or the Creator that they had thought to be engaging with in their place of worship is indeed found in truth within the self, within the heart, and within the hearts of your other selves as well. Is there a follow-up to this query, my brother?
No, I'm deeply grateful for that response.
Yes, there's so many follow-ups. What?
That's funny, Ed. Okay, go ahead. What do you want to say?
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong, yeah, but that's a lot more than they normally ever describe something in time space.
What? Yeah, I thought it was in space time, but go ahead.
No. It said that basically when you create dogma and you create those kind of institutionalized beliefs, then the thoughts themselves create thought forms in our time space.
Let me see where.
I think any thought is a thought form, though, right?
Yeah,
No,
but if enough of us have them, then it basically builds like a city.
A thought form is a kind of like when it manifests physically.
No,
Or
it's
it
not.
looks-
No, it's not. A thought form. Every single thought you have creates a thought form. Yeah, it is basically just the formation
But that's what
caused
we
by your
are. We
thought.
are
But
the one
when
creator
you
dancing thoughts.
when you actually kind of control how that thought is produced, say through ritual, through a process, yeah, like for example, like just as a way of understanding how this works, yeah, the brain is actually builds itself into sacred geometric patterns. Yeah, if you could then get the right neurons to fire at the same, you are literally projecting a pentagram or a hexagram or whatever out of your brain in specific ways, right? So the point is that every single thing that we think projects energy outwards. By organizing those thoughts in a specific way, you can actually project shapes and actually project actual things outward from the brain. It's what Quo just said was that those things manifest in time space.
Where you
So that would equate it to
this?
the causal realm in Buddhism.
I mean, out of what they just said, I'm not seeing the word thought form or
No, time space. He
time
said,
space.
and the building of institutions inside what we would see as time space.
Oh, hold on. Time be. Hold on. I'm just trying to find it. Here, home. Where's the time space?
I think that paragraph that starts with "we would address more readily and easily."
There.
It's talking about the illusion of separation that lies within third density.
It causes a
Background.
problem for the rest of
time
us.
space. Here it is. I found the paragraph that has time space. Okay, as these groups meet together and engage in a worship that is absent of love and acceptance, they do indeed build certain structures, you may say, in time space that have a lasting effect, not just for the group of seekers, but for your entire planetary population.
Okay, right.
Mhm.
So just let that sink in for a sec.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That means that the thought forms created by negative religions are keeping us all tied up.
Yeah. So these crystallized beliefs that are reinforced through religious dogma become what you might call institutions within the realm of your time space, which impose an effect upon all seekers and individuals on your planet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, but this also means the converse is true, that people that get together with love and acceptance also build structures in time space that have a lasting effect. I would imagine.
Yeah, but like if what they're saying is like most of these people in the world are like worshiping a vengeful god, yeah, then that really means something then, dude.
I'm not even sure how many, like, it's not every Christian denomination that believes in a vengeful deity.
No, but like wasn't that what the question was about?
That was what the question was about. And I mean, that's fair. It's just, I don't know if that is kind of, if every denomination or if which major denominations here. How about we can ask ChatGPT. That's something that he can answer fairly reliably, I would hope.
You got to take in karma as that as well, really.
Table of denominations and their populations, and which ones believe in vengeful god versus which ones believe in a loving god. Okay. Crafting the table. All right. So who we got? Christianity. No. You need to have more fine tuning here. Christianity is huge. Denominations. Let's focus on just Christianity for the next table. Okay. So what does it say here? Islam teaches God is merciful and just, most merciful and most compassionate, but also severe in punishment. So it gives people that choice. Unfortunately, the ones that get into the news usually choose the vengeful one. For example, some evangelical groups may emphasize God's wrath, while mainline Protestants and Catholic traditions often highlight God's love. So here, oh, it's still generating the other one. And then Hinduism, diverse range. For instance, the goddess Kali is depicted as fierce and vengeful. Some traditions have a loving. Traditional Buddhism does not focus on a creator god, but in Tibetan Buddhism, they have wrathful ones too. But really, it's wrathful against bad attributes, basically. The Hebrew Bible depicts God as delivering justice and wrath, as well as showing. Oh. Try again. It failed. Okay. What? Oh my gosh, it's retarded. Okay, sorry guys. ChatGPT went retarded.
Why? What did ChatGPT say?
When I told it try again, it it gave me some kind of video. It's a song by American singer Isla. Anyhow, so we're not going to get any more useful information.
You must have capitalized the A. It sounded like a title.
It's supposed to understand the
Oh, you
context of
didn't.
our
That's
conversation.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it's oh well. Anyhow, so it's difficult to say for sure. Here, of denominations promote love of God versus wait. Is Ed, are you there?
Where?
Oh, I mean, I was just wondering because it looked like you were frozen, and I wasn't sure if your thing is frozen.
It's just feeling
Sue
flowing through my hand.
Did you have some experience with denominations? Did you want to give your 2 cents here?
Well, no, I'm just saying that. Like, I'd say that all religions across the world of the major denominations have a vengeful God. That's been my main issue with, organized religions. Essentially, that's the main invigorating, incredible thing about the Law of One, that it takes all of that out of the hands and it puts the responsibility squarely at your feet. It's just you and the Creator. Like, it's not. There's no vengeance. There's no nothing. You make your own choices.
So
only
here,
sovereignty. There's no punishment. There's only causality.
Dan, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I think that quote is not like supporting religion per se. I think quote's saying that, while people do follow this religion, they're still working on their spiritual journey in parallel, because they are seeking the truth, and following Christianity or whatever religion, they'll eventually find the truth and find out that they are the creator. So, and I do agree from my own experience. I think me growing up atheist has put me in a stump, and I feel behind. I feel like my spiritual journey, I feel really like I'm behind everyone else, because everyone had a chance to pray. Everyone had a chance to like seek the silence within themselves, shadow work. That's all part of, other religions too. So I feel like I'm behind, and I wish now that I did give religion a better chance in the past. But that's my 2 cents.
No, I have to say to you, when I came out of my science coma, and realize that science is just one part of understanding the mystery. I did look back and think, like, what did I do? Why did I all this time I wasted that I could have been continuing the work I knew was right all along, blah 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 blah. But what can you do, man? Everything's always perfect, right? You went through that for a reason. Same way all of us. Every step of the path is perfect for us.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, no mistakes, no regrets.
That's it. But that's once again why the Law of One's so powerful, right? Because it's all about your own free will. It's all about how you live your life, how you observe the mirrors, how you find the lessons of love, see the Creator in all things, right? It's not about a vengeance or a fear, because that's the opposite way of thinking about any of it. Sorry, Andrii, go on.
Oh, I managed to get my personal DeepSeek to generate us a decent summary here. So Christianity, generally both, but some denomination leads towards wrathful, like evangelical groups, and others love, Roman Catholicism, Methodism. So Roman Catholics emphasize God's love and mercy, though also acknowledge divine justice. Anglicanism focuses on God's love and grace, with a balanced view of his justice. Methodism highlights God's love and salvation through Christ. Baptist, some groups emphasize personal conversion and divine judgment, leaning towards wrathful aspects. So those are like the fire and brimstone Baptists. Pentecostalism focuses on personal relationship with God, balancing his love and justice. Islam, Allah is seen as merciful and compassionate, but also strict in enforcing laws and consequences. So that's the wrathful aspect. Judaism views God as both loving and just, emphasizing mercy alongside divine law. Hinduism, Kali's wrathful, Vishnu embodies love and compassion. Buddhism emphasizes karma and cosmic justice, which is neutral. Evangelical often highlights divine judgment and hellfire, emphasizing the wrathful side of God. And liberal Protestant denominations focus more on God's love and mercy, often downplaying wrathful aspects. So, in total, I mean, there seems to be more of an emphasis towards love, but often it depends on the personal seekers. But certainly there are, the evangelicals that are pro hellfire, and certain Islamist extremists who are focused just on the laws, and same thing with Judaism. But yeah, and historically Catholicism, they used to burn people for finding out what Jesus had to say. So not the nicest thing, not the nicest thing to do. I think. Anyways. Okay, so did we want to go on to the next one then?
What denomination were the people that burned the witches in Salem, Massachusetts? Were those evangelicals?
Okay, hold on. That's a good question.
To be fair, it doesn't really matter, dude. I think it's been fairly conclusively proven that was caused by LSA spores from the moldy rye grain, the green silos at the end of the valley, being blown down the valley and basically making everybody trip balls solidly for 6 months.
Why don't we have that anymore?
It's because you guys don't store moldy rye grain for years anymore. It's a shame.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think there's reasons that they have to kind of clean
They
it
were
nowadays.
eating moldy cereal.
I don't know why you wouldn't want just clouds of fucking tripping powder.
Monsanto hybridized that out of the rye.
Oh,
it's relatively simple, man. It's called ergot. Just get yourself some rye bread, let it go off. You'll get some LSA eventually.
Yeah, I think I can use a dumber version of here. What? Because I'm using an overly smart thing. It's thinking about this too much.
What is it? Are you picking
Puritan community? The Puritans were a Protestant religious group that sought to purify the Church of England of its Catholic practices. They had a strong presence in Massachusetts Bay Colony, where Salem was located. There you go. They were Puritans. Because I mean,
Purely
you know,
evil.
if they,
Purely evil. You burn
Purely
people
evil.
alive because they don't agree with you, and they used herbs and talked to trees, so you burn them alive. Yeah, we're purists.
Yeah. There's I know someone who's a Puritan, you know, and like when they found out I was into the, you know, the Confederation material about love and kindness, they're like, that's all demons. It's all demon talk. You gotta go back to Jesus. You
They're
know.
not wrong.
Well, they don't think they're wrong, you know. But anyways, okay. So where were we? Someone wanted to say something. Time space. Okay, it was one of the first time space ones. They're gonna be more on time space, guys.
And what it sounded like earlier, what they were talking about with traditions and dogma, it reminds me of something that a comedian said once. He said that traditions are basically nothing more than peer pressure from dead relatives.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But it worked for them. You know, that's the one kind of redeeming quality. Okay. So how does love emerge from unity, Kuo?
I am Quo, and I'm aware of the query, my brother. We find that there are various angles with which we could approach such a question. For there is a perspective of the Creator, which in many ways is unity, and the process from which love arises from that primal, fundamental, all-encompassing aspect of the one infinite Creator. There is also the perspective that you are privileged to experience now within the third density, where unity is not apparent, but you may seek and experience it. And from that unity, love arises as you seek it within an illusion. We would address more readily and easily the second scenario, where you as a seeker are attempting to discover the true nature of the creation and the Creator within an illusion of separation. Beneath that illusion lies the unity that you can sense within your heart, but which is not so readily apparent within your lived experience, within the third density. But as you seek this unity, you begin to recognize more and more that this separation is an illusion, that the individual self, the aspect that you call me, what has sometimes been referred to as the ego or the I, is indeed not separate from those around you, but connected in the most fundamental way through unity. And as such, the identity of self grows so that you as an individual realize that the experiences, the joys and the pain of other selves, though you may not experience them so directly as the other individual, are still your own. They still belong to you through your nature as the one infinite Creator. And thus, if this realization is come to through the open heart, love is a natural product of this realization, for you cannot separate from another self in order to feel anything besides love for that other. The unity that you realize implies care and acceptance and understanding, even if that is not your lived experience. If you continue to rest in the unity that you sense in your heart and reach with faith outwards, knowing that this unity exists through the illusion of your third density reality, then there is no other response that you could have to a situation or another self besides love, for that is the nature of your connection with all around you. And it is through this looking towards unity that you might better understand how love comes from unity in the sense of the beginning, you may say, the one infinite Creator as infinity, discovering the desire to experience, and thus starting the process of generating and creating the creation through love. for it is the same lens that the Creator focuses itself into. The creation that you then look back to the Creator, and that lens is your other selves. The joy, the lived experience, and the life around you that you are able to perceive. And if you perceive it clearly, if that lens is clean and clear, then you are able to witness the Creator in its infinite glory. Is there a follow up to this query, my brother?
No, thank you. That was amazing.
How do
All
you
right.
clean the lens?
Clean the lens by forgiving. The soot is unprocessed catalyst. That's the soot on the lens, and once you
It's like
process the
getting the
catalyst,
chakras moving.
Mhm.
Like the toroidal field is constantly active when you reach the heart or something. You ever seen like a camera in the snow? How they keep the snow off the camera? They have this thing around it that like just spins really fast, so you can't see it spinning, but then it makes it so you get a great picture and you don't have any snow on the camera.
I see the ones in NASCAR when they have the cameras on the front of the car where they just peel a layer off of the lens and get the next layer.
Yes, that would be like layers of the illusion. But yeah, I don't know if that's what they mean in this case. Here, let's see. Oh my gosh. I've just been so overwhelmed lately.
With
Okay.
what?
Just so many things happening all at once. Like, do you guys know how many different AIs were released in the last like 2 weeks?
Why do we have to pay attention to that? They'll come
Well,
about
I
eventually.
am an AI expert. I have to pay attention to all of that, and I've been trying to do all of this stuff, and then I got that GPU card, and I got this RAM, and so I'm gonna. This is 32 gigabytes of RAM, guys, for a server. You know, and so I gotta upgrade it, and I'm doing this, guys, with you. Points for seekers with quotes.
Dude,
From
take everything chill, man. You know,
based on
remember, let the synchronicities lead the way, my friend.
yeah, that's how it is. And it's like,
Seriously, though, that's why I smoke weed every day.
but the thing is, it makes
And
me
all
too
night as
tired.
well.
I can't do it. You know.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well,
Because of your wife, you said?
no, it just makes me tired. I have energy. You know, I need to maintain energy. If I open up my chakras at night, then I don't have the energy during the day. So I need to kind of balance and have sober times so I can have adequate sleep and things like this. Anyhow, so it's thinking, and ChatGPT is failing.
Doing
So
it
you're
on
looking at like
purpose.
mirror, and like what to like look at you, how you look at yourself and stuff like that. Like, what advice do you reckon you'd have like if someone just tried to stab you and that, and like
Is that what happened to you, Ed?
should you just like laugh it off and that and stuff?
Did that happen recently?
No, it's just asking for a friend, you know.
Oh,
Sounds
come
like
on.
bullshit.
It smells like burning. Hold on, guys. I gotta figure out what's going on. Okay, I'll be back.
What happened, Ed? Tell us.
I'm just saying, like, how do you just forgive and forget scenarios like that, you know, without taking on the stress inside yourself? You know what I mean?
When someone's gonna stab you? But did it happen?
No, not me personally. Obviously, like asking for a friend. You know.
Okay. Apparently,
Someone's got
everything's okay.
stabbed and they're like angry about it. Is that what
Well,
you're
I mean,
saying?
like if someone hypothetically, you know, just tried to stab you a minute ago, you know, how would you kind of get yourself to a place of forgiveness and
Dude, I literally had.
in your own head. Like how do you get safe in your own head? By just
Well,
letting go and forgiving.
It's a process. It's like a multi-step process of learning by, okay, I know my perception of this is incorrect. It's imbalanced. So I have to look at it more closely, knowing that there's no mistakes. It's all catalyst. It's all to learn lessons and everything, accepting that and then integrating it into your beingness, where now I literally had someone try to murder me. Okay. Blatantly, flat out murder. So it has taken me it took me about a year to really sink into my knowledge base, and not just knowing, but it's like this uh, understanding of, not only do I understand this person was incredibly distorted and still is, but it was a catalyst that I needed to learn certain lessons, to learn certain things, to reestablish boundaries, and all kinds of good, positive things came from it. So it took all the time for me to see all these other pieces of the larger puzzle come into place after the event, after I had my emotional holy cow, thing that happened, and then reintegrate that into my understanding of, I have to, hold that there's a reason you have boundaries, because when you're a loving, caring person, people misread that. You can be in a certain group of people like we're here, and we can tell a story and cry about it and be emotional and be vulnerable, and we all care about each other. We're all on the same page. But in regular 3D life, you have to have certain boundaries, because if you don't, and you are just like that everywhere, you're going to be taken advantage of, and some people want to hurt you. That's just a fact of life. And I was living in a way where I was just assuming and expecting everyone around me to be the same as me. And that's not realistic. That's delusional. So that was a big wake up call for me. So hindsight, coming 360 through that, that's how you get over it. That's how you deal. That's the only way I know. And everything I read through Quo and Raw and all these other channeling, even you listen to Dolores Cannon, you listen to Bashar, you listen to any of them, they're all going to tell you the same basic thing, the same basic process. That's just my experience.
Yeah.
I'm
Also,
sure that it'll, my friend will come to terms with these things eventually.
okay.
It's what it is.
So
It sucks. It's not fun. I'm not saying it is not something I'd wish on somebody, to be attacked or be, almost attacked or whatever. But having had it done to me, obviously it's something that I needed to get a wake up call, because nothing worked beforehand.
Have you ever seen John Wick's face when he's getting attacked or in a fight, or that guy that plays in the movie Equalizer? I just watched that for the first time last night, and it made me really think of like what balance looks like. Like, this guy has got a straight face. He's in these crazy situations, but he's like handling it with calmness because he's knowing he's doing his best. But Andrii?
Oh, Fred, I just wanted to mention to you, you remember how you were asking about the lens? And I asked DeepSeek 14B to generate the thing, and during its thought process, it says, I'm a bit confused about the part where Kuo talks about the creator focusing itself into a lens using other selves, meaning we are part of that lens through which the creator experiences his creation. How does this relate to love emerging from unity?
Maybe it's like the higher self. So like your higher self as a sixth density being is a bunch of little souls incarnating at different times or the same times. And that lens of like gathering the love and the light or experience and then bringing it back into the creator, like, if that makes any sense, like the spiraling and the zooming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. I was just trying to point out the fact that both Fred had this question and DeepSeek had the same question when processing this material. So that's interesting.
And you just told me that ChatGPT was 70 IQ. Thanks.
That was ChatGPT. This is DeepSeek, and actually, this is my own DeepSeek. So I don't know what IQ it has. It's the 14B model. The official model that's over here. Here we can ask it the same thing and then see if it has a similar question. Here I think I can copy the prompt. Where was it? There's the prompt, and then here's the official DeepSeek, chat.deepseek.com. Okay, now let's see. It's the R1. Okay, so this one has an IQ of 100. Okay, create a title summary. The creator's viewpoint here. If you guys want, you can see what it's thinking. This is right now the smartest model that's available for like not super rich people. Okay, I'll break down into the key points. Yeah, I don't know if it'll talk about the lens here. Okay, tell us about the lens also.
It's number 4.
Oh, here, the creator's lens, seeing through the illusion. The lens is your other selves. If perceived clearly, you witness the creator in infinite glory. Every interaction is a mirror of the divine. Cleansing the lens of perception through forgiveness, compassion, and gratitude. That's what I said. Reveals the creator's love in all. There you go. See, DeepSeek agrees with me. That's cool. All right. So that's actually a decent response. That is a decent response. Excellent. Okay.
So it was kind of describing what I said earlier about getting through the catalyst of having someone trying to harm you.
Getting through the catalyst of someone trying to harm you. Yes. So with that, honestly, with that catalyst, I would look at multiple factors in terms of like also why did my higher self allow a situation to occur, and what is it trying to teach me about my life, and in terms of like spiritual growth. Like usually things where your life is in danger, those are considered messenger events to deeply reflect on your life path and where you're going, because it's like you're at a crossroads. If you continue going the way that you are, then things might get more intense, and you may actually have to go a different way so that things become less intense or more harmonious. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That all happened.
Yeah. Cool. Glad that resonates. Browse. Is that the one? I will have to assume so. Submit. Look, there's a heart in there. I guess it's still good for images, at least. Submit. Did it work? Oh boy. I don't know why my computer's so slow. Anyhow, so let's move on to the next one. Were we talking about this lens thing for a long time? Okay. I don't know. My sense of time and everything is warped right now. Okay, I'm Kuo. We transfer this. Okay, we're the principal. Okay, we know to use Kuo. Kuo, I've always had a problem understanding the nature of time in time-space. In our experience, it's a straight line, past, present, future. Is there some analogy you can give us that might help us understand how time behaves in time-space?
We are those of Quo and have received your query, our brother. And we would preface by saying that these questions have been upon the instrument's own mind as he has found himself struggling, attempting to translate and conceive an inverse relationship between space and time and space. This has not been a strength of his, and thus will not make the most ideal instrument for this query, but we shall attempt to work through these conceptual limitations to speak to your query. And we would say that, to begin with, the time space is an entire realm of experience, you may say, unto itself, inextricably linked with and intertwined with space-time, but is its own complete system as well, wherein, as you are immobilized, as it seems, in the space-time realm, in your experience of time and its one-way moving arrow, as it has been philosophized, in time-space. The inverse situation is true, and that time itself is a dimension through which one may travel and move and visit. It has its own coordinates, you might say, though not quite in the geographical or three dimensions as you may experience it now in the space-time, but the position of space is, as is the case with time in your present incarnative experience, much more fixed. As to a metaphor which may help to clarify the situation for you, our friend, we are not locating that which may shed the light sought. But one may look at the dreamscape for a taste of the time-space realm as it is translated to the conscious mind in the symbolic drama and the projection of the mind into a realm of infinitely creative capacity whereby the self may move through time, may grow in age, may seem to regress in age, may experience youth and old age, may experience advances with time that defy description or explanation, may visit times that have seemed to be, or times that seem yet to come, may move through this field with a fluidity while the consciousness within the space-time experience remains relatively secure. We would remind each that you are not strictly beings of space-time, that is your physical plane of existence, who travels to a foreign realm, which we have described as a time-space or the unseen or metaphysical realms, as a journeyer. Instead, you are also a being of time-space. You are a being of metaphysical origin and purpose. You straddle both worlds fully with a great deal of yourself occupying this time-space. It is just a circumstance that a veil has been dropped, so to speak, within your deep mind that creates a seeming partition of awareness and experience between that which becomes the conscious mind and that which in, or more in tune with, time-space becomes the subconscious mind. For the seeker who begins to penetrate that veil of forgetting, that they may begin to perceive and indeed even experience that great realm of time-space, many doors begin to open in the possibilities of work in consciousness. We are quo and would ask if there is a follow-up to this query.
Did you guys want to do the follow-up, or you want to process what we read so far?
I think we need to process.
Okay, all right. Let's do that.
It seems like they were saying, realistically, that the majority of our beingness actually exists in non-space-time.
It says like a large portion. So I think that what they're referring to is what Michael Newton talked about in Journey of Souls and things like that. And it's that when we incarnate, we are incarnating with only a fraction of our soul, and the rest of our soul stays in time space or stays in the soul realm. And so as a result, yeah, you have that aspect of you, but when you're making the choice on Earth, you generally have the veil and you do not have unfettered access to your soul, but you may in dreams or during meditations have some such access. Or if you wish, you can gain that access by making those wishes and meditating on them, like I did, because I have fairly unfettered access to the time space stuff, so, and the soul world, so it all makes total sense to me.
Okay, right. Well, then answer this for me then, because this is the thing I
Okay.
always struggle with. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you are able to kind of travel through time, without
Mhm.
moving, and but this point in space throughout whatever time, yes. You can't track like different points in space over time. They would be separate coordinates.
Hold on. Let me try to grasp what you're saying again. Okay, start again.
All right, so, by in time space versus space time, right? Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
In space time, you can
Yes.
walk over there and you go from here to over there. Yeah,
Yes.
that's you traveling through space time.
Mm-hmm.
And time space, essentially, you wouldn't be able to travel from here to there, but you'd be able to travel up and down through time, right? Because everything's set in one position. And essentially, you just track backwards and forwards through time, but that would leave you in one spatial location,
Mm-hmm.
right? So in that spatial location, the Earth would be about 1,000 miles that way within a fraction of a second.
So let me add
So
some
your actual space that you're actually going to be trapped in to move like directionally through time is not going to exist in the same place on Earth, or if you're actually looking at universal space time.
Okay, so there's also a thing called gravity, and gravity works both in time space and space time, and we know this. Physics has proved beyond the shadow of a doubt that it works across all dimensions, including time and space, because it bends light and all that stuff. And so basically, as a soul, you are in the inner planes of the Earth, which is inside the Earth itself. And so you are in that relatively stable location, and then you have access through various means in the spirit world itself, such as going to the library to read the past lives or access the Akashic records, or going to the spherical future prospecting chambers. You can look into potential futures. And so you have access to both looking at the past and the future while you remain in the soul world. And you can also visit people kind of like in a more kind of ghost-like way, and connect to their consciousness, especially like spirit guides. Basically, how it is, from my understanding, is that everyone that's incarnate on Earth is also at the same time in the spirit world of Earth, in the inner planes. And so you can actually go and talk to the spirit world version of that person, to kind of pass on a message to their incarnation, if they're not like totally blocked of all spiritual information, because there's some kind of hardcore materialist that refuses to admit any spirituality, but if they're open to it, then certainly, like my guides can talk to me freely, and things like that, because I allow it. Mm-hmm. Server is busy. This is why I have my own instance. Okay.
It sounds to me like what they're describing is in time space, you're more reliant on setting the frequency and vibration to be able to match that of the space that you want to occupy, where in space-time we're constantly focused on the space and restricted by time. They're not restricted by time in that sense in time space. So all they have to do, it doesn't matter. Time doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if it takes millions of supposed years for them to set the frequency of a desired space. Once that frequency is obtained, then you go in whatever form you can to wherever you want to go. You'd be even including what you were describing, like ghost-like forms and supernatural things.
Mm. Yes. Yeah. Time works differently in time space than it does, because here, since you don't have the same kind of physical body that we have here.
One of the earliest like powerful meditations I ever had, weirdly, is with using my little stone pyramids. You remember these things? I used to make them. Remember? Was basically I was holding these, and they kind of like end up making this kind of whirlpool portal thing open up in my chest, and I was like shot out of my own chest like a cannon. And basically, it was like me being fired out at the Big Bang as a photon. Yeah, and then basically, I as a photon, I like passed directly just out into space. Yeah. Huh? You what?
I think he was talking to someone else.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so I got, as a photon, I got fired out into space. Yeah, and I watched like the entire fucking universe and galaxies, everything form and then collapsing, and then form and then collapsing, like over and in all these cycles, and then everything, all of it, all gets sucked and pulled in together. And I realized, like, you know, the fractions of a second that I saw the entire universe expand and then collapse into oneness again. You know, time, like a photon doesn't experience time at all, does it? There's no such thing. Time, it's moving at the speed of light. That's where the boundary falls down. That's why it's got no mass. So the actual consciousness of a photon that fired out the Big Bang could have existed the entire of the universe, the entirety of the whole universe. And to that photon, it'd be a blink of an eye.
Yes. Yes. Very true. Yes, that's a good analogy.
So yeah, I followed this photon's little life across the universe. I watched, like, you know, we flew past Earth, and I saw me on the planet, and then it zoomed out, and like, you know, as Earth got smaller or whatever, it was like my whole life, entire what it was, ended up making like a mosaic pattern of all the things that I'd done and all of the places that I'd been, that swirled and spiraled through this crystal of solidified time, space time. Yeah, space time. From, I suppose, a time space perspective. And my entire life, as it were, became this kind of crystalline path carved out of the universe. And then obviously I was a photon again, flying on. But yeah, I think that kind of ties pretty much all those things together.
Cool. Yes. Yeah, that's definitely one interesting way of looking at it. In terms of, yeah, that when you're traveling at the speed of light, it's like time has no meaning. Because, you know, the closer you get to the speed of light, the less time happens for you than it does for an observer. And so if you're traveling at the speed of light, then you're traveling at the speed of time. And so no time passes until you get to your destination.
See, now, Dewey Lawson, who Ra endorsed the physics of, he said that essentially time and space are reciprocal actions of one another. So, yeah, he actually full on gave the physics for a space-time universe, a time-space universe, and space being a fundamental.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Ed. It sounds very warbly, like you sound like a robot.
You sound the same.
I think it might be your connection. Ed, Fred, you try saying something.
Same. You're going all roboty too.
Fred, you have to unmute first.
Turn your camera off. Maybe try.
I can hear Adam just fine.
I'm muted.
Okay, good. You're good. Okay, so it's Edward's connection.
Okay, so it's all good. You can hear me now,
yeah, now we can hear you. Now we can hear you, Ed. Yeah.
Okay, so Dewey Lawson said that it's reciprocal action. So you have space and time are intrinsically linked as different components of how matter works, or how the universe works, but they're irrespective of each other. So motion and vibration is the things that make matter. Essentially, what we call light, is just a vibration, right? So he says that that's what makes matter, and space is basically the expansion and the use of matter, whereas time is the process, the motion that occurs to create matter. So you can't. So the other thing about this is that time isn't a separate dimension, is it? You can have one dimension and have time. Then you need to have time in order for there to be a second dimension. So space and time are both there. They both exist at the same point. You can't have one without the other. They're intrinsically reciprocal.
Space and time are intrinsically reciprocal. Deep words, deep words. Guys, you want to reflect? You want to answer our reputed guest? Otherwise, we can go to the next one.
We can go to the next one.
Okay. So, thank you, cool. This makes me wonder if I'm ever able to achieve my lifelong dream of becoming lucid in the dream state. Can I then explore this part of my being, the time-space part of my being?
We are those of Quo and have received your query, our brother. Indeed, the dream state offers one such portal of experience into time-space and the many places of access or insight that would be relatively unavailable to the waking conscious mind in the physical plane. In becoming conscious in the dream state, such that the subjective awareness is not passively along for the ride or witnessing the movie script move before or within the awareness, but may instead choose to direct the journey, to explore, to ask questions of one's teachers and guides in a more comprehensible way, so that there is a direct, mutually intelligible communication, less subject to the necessities of symbolism and synchronicity and vagary, and hint that is the experience of the conscious mind within the space-time realm receiving guidance. Many are the possibilities of the time-space realm. Is there a follow-up query, my brother? We are those of Quo. What do they
Sounds like it
mean,
was saying-
vagary?
Vagary, I would imagine.
Is that like vagrants?
Hold on. Becoming conscious, dream states, which is not passively along.
As in, like, being vague.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Oh,
Yes. Where does it say vagary?
like the second or third to last sentence.
Okay. Less subject of the necessity of symbolism, synchronicity, and vagary, and hint that it is the experience of the conscious mind within the space-time realm receiving guidance. Many are the possibilities of time-space.
It's like saying non-duality is not the way. It's like everything you see has meaning, and you're supposed to be an actor in the play and direct it and be the creator and choose your own experiences, not just sit there and experiencing the movie that we are experiencing.
Well, I think they're saying that's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not non-dualistic.
Okay. So becoming conscious in dream state. So they're basically saying yes. Okay. I always have a follow-up, Kuo. I don't usually do 2 follow-ups, but I must ask the question. Are one of the possibilities of exploring time-space healing an illness or a trauma that one has experienced in what we would call the past?
We are those of Quo and receive and appreciate this query, our brother. Indeed, healing is a vivid possibility within the conscious experience of the time-space realm. For within that dimension of reality, one has potentially greater access to the storehouse of information within the layers of the deep mind and the personal repository of past experience that is generally unavailable to the conscious mind, or cloaked from the conscious mind by design. This is not to imply that one may, shall we say, trounce into time-space in willy-nilly fashion, as one may say, and exercise an omniscience in knowing all that there is to know, or receiving any answer which is upon one's heart. There is considerable discipline involved in navigating the time-space realm. That you navigate your space-time of physical realm with the dexterity you do is a function of a great deal of cognitive development within one's own present incarnation. A long process of trial and error, of receiving feedback, mechanisms that instruct one as to how to interact with and move through the space-time realm. This building up from incarnation to incarnation as one learns gradually to master, to a small degree, the experience of the space-time. Time-space, likewise, requires, as you would perceive it, time, the elapse of duration and experience to learn how to operate within this realm, how to hold one's subjective awareness and exercise interpretation, and to make choices, and to sift through the available data and information in streams of light and energy. The horizons are much expanded in this space, and with care and discipline and sure footing, one may indeed look to those areas within the being that are tangled or blocked or imbalanced, or those areas where there is stored past trauma and difficulty that may remain completely outside of the awareness of the conscious mind due to past defense mechanisms of repression or suppression, or because those areas have become fragmented and split off. And through access of these places, with the help of one's guides and teachers, one may slowly, or perhaps in a moment, address these areas of the being with love, with understanding, with accommodation, and deepen the process of healing and integration. This may certainly happen within, as you would perceive it, an instant, or it may take many such forays into this work. Either way, there is ever corresponding work on the flip side, in the space-time realm of experience through which you move between waking and sleeping. There is needed integration and reflection and a necessity to manifest that which has been learned on the other side of the veil, and to recognize that the self is always one and whole, whatever its modality of experience or seemingly mundane or exotic realms through which it moves. We would ask if there was a brief follow-up to this query before we transfer our contact. We are those known to you as Quo.
No, King. Cool. Thank you so much. I really
I like
appreciate it.
that third to last paragraph where they're talking about the space-time being the place you navigate between waking and sleeping. Like that.
This one, the horizons are much expanded in this space. Is this the one you're talking about?
It was the third to last.
Oh, this one.
One paragraph right there. Yeah.
Okay. Do you perceive it? It may take such forays into this work. Ever corresponding work on the flip side in the space-time experience through which you move between waking and sleeping.
So they describe our daytime, normal, everyday moment life as the space between waking and sleeping. That's funny.
That is strange. Yes. Through which you move between waking and sleeping. So what is waking and what is sleeping? Maybe that's too deep or something. All right. Does anyone else want to say anything on, or did you want to say anything else on this particular topic?
The best technique I've found for lucid dreaming, if anybody wants to try it out, is you go every time you go through a door during the day. Yeah, you just tell yourself, you ask yourself, am I dreaming? Every single time you walk through a doorway. So every time you open the door, just go, am I dreaming? Yeah, and you keep asking yourself that, and then eventually, at some point in your dream, you're going to go, am I dreaming?
And you're going to be like, no, I'm
Bosh.
not dreaming.
Bosh, lucid dreaming. You'll be like, oh my God, I am dreaming. Ha ha, machine guns, change the sky purple, buildings coming up, mountains, forests everywhere, change the universe to my will.
See, that happens to me the opposite way when I am meditating. Sometimes I will get such intense visuals that I'll forget that I'm meditating and I don't have to suffer what I'm suffering. I had a meditation just recently where I was in a desert walking, and I'm like, my thoughts are, you didn't prepare for this. You're not wearing the right shoes. You don't have any water. You don't have any food. You don't even know where you're at. It's hot. It's dry. You're walking, and just these boom, 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 boom thoughts. And then I realize I'm in the middle of a meditation. I can go, okay, I'm in front of water now. And I completely forgot that I can just shift my thought to another space in the meditation. It was bizarre. And that's been happening actually quite a bit as of lately. Weird. It's like I'm going backwards, but maybe I'm just going
Dude,
so far
if you're
into
forgetting that you're in the middle of the meditation, like, I'd just chill out on the weed, mate.
What do you mean?
Memory problems? I don't worry about it. Can't remember that you're in the meditation.
I mean, I know I have, short-term memory problems, but that's kind of ridiculous.
Here, let me see.
That would be funny. Sorry, dude.
Honestly, I got my biorhythm thing here, and then it says here my intellect is plus 97, but my spiritual aptitude right now is minus 98, and my emotional is minus 90, and my physical is plus 40. So, but I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's inverted, because like I just feel like, honestly, like such an airhead. So it's not like plus 97, it's like minus 97. But maybe it's because the emotional and the aptitude, the spiritual aptitude, the adept cycle. Do you guys remember the adept cycle? It was something that Ross spoke about. It's like a biorhythm that's based on 18. And so, yeah, anyway, so mine is minus 98, my adeptness today. So sorry if I'm not contributing as much.
What do you mean that it's a scale based on 18?
So 18 days cycle.
Know how? Yeah. Do you guys know how biorhythms work? So it's basically it's a sinusoidal wave that fits in an 18-day cycle. So like when you're 1/4 of the way in, you're at the maximum of your spiritual ability, and then when you're 3/4 of the way, you're at the minimum. So right now, both like my adepthood is minus 98 and going down. So it'll still get even worse. And then my emotional is minus 90, and then it's going down. But my intellect is plus
I put it
97.
in chat, Fred, if you want to try to look at yours.
Yeah. Oh. Bring forth biorhythms. Yeah. Well,
I'll look at that. Yeah.
I'll try to bring it over so that the YouTube viewers can see there.
I have to open it before.
Here, I put it up on the screen. Here, what's your birthday?
Mine? December 1st. December 1st, 1975.
12. 1975. Calculate. Here you go. And let's see, your adept cycle is in purple. And so you're near the top. See? your
You're
depth
pretty
cycle,
psychic right
and
now.
your physical is really high up today. Here, let me try mine, and let me see if it lines up with what it's saying here. Yeah, you see my depth cycle is like way low, and like my physical is going down. And it's like, but my intellect is like way up here. I guess I did do some smart stuff today, but I'm just not feeling that great.
Well, basically, what that's telling you is you should be smart enough to not overexert yourself right now.
Yeah, well, one would hope, eh? All right. Well, I think that comes with the compassion. You gotta have compassion to yourself. Okay, so let's see if it managed to. Oh, here, finally. I got Quen to do it. So I couldn't get DeepSeek 14 to do it, but I got Quen 2.5 to do it. And Quen 2.5 is from Alibaba. It's also from China. But anyways, this is the more standard. So what do we got here? Accessing the deep mind in time space, one has greater access to the deeper layers of the personal history and memories that remain hidden from conscious awareness. Indeed, healing is a vivid possibility within the conscious experience of the time-space realm. Discipline navigation. This is a considerable discipline involved in exploring time-space is not a casual endeavor. It demands significant cognitive development and careful handling akin to navigating the physical space-time. It does not imply that one may, shall we say, trounce into time willy-nilly. There's a considerable discipline involved. There we go. Integral healing process. Time-space allows for addressing past traumas, but healing is an ongoing process that also requires reflection in the present time-space. Time-space likewise requires, as you would perceive it, time. Engaging with guides and teachers during this exploration can facilitate a deeper, more integrated understanding of self. All right. That's a good one. Anyhow, okay, now make an image for it. So,
I think it's kind of paradoxical that they're telling you that it takes time to learn how to navigate time space.
yeah. Oh, is it past 9?
Yeah.
Oh, it's past 9. Okay, well, so that's our last query for today. Anything else you guys want to briefly... Oh, make an image for this. Briefly say? Or discuss before we close? Sue-Ann, did you want to make any closing statements? Okay. Like a review for how we did today? I don't know if Sue-Ann is there. Okay.
I say we did well.
You say we did well. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Well, you're really adept today. So yeah, you did great. I'm like, what's going on? All right. Okay. So, as found you, we leave you in the love and in the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and in the peace of the one infinite creator, the one within you and all around you, my friends. End stream. All right, the stream is over, guys.